pole position. The lights go out and the race gets underway now then, and it's a good start by Ben Short from the front of the row of the grid, but also is that by Shay Pearce from the second row of the grid in the number 16 car, making a move around the outside into Redgate corner for the first time. Ben Short has dropped back to third position. It's Michael Pearce that is in the lead of the race then as they turn their way through Redgate corner for the first time. There's one or two spinning off onto the infield. That 47. Is the 47 car, which is Stephen Craggs. He's gone round onto the grass at Redgate. Yellow flags waving for that, but it's Michael Pearce leading Shay Pearce then as they head down towards the old hairpin for the first time, Josh.
Yeah, so Michael ahead of his son, but it might not be for much longer because Ben Short looked up the inside. He couldn't make it, so great start from the Pearces. There's another in the gravel. That was 97, Jack Lawrence, who will get out of the gravel, but have to go across the wet grass before rejoining, probably at the back. So it's very slippery out there. That's what all the drivers have been reporting in qualifying this morning. It's no different now. 64 coming around the outside is Scott Lawrence from 6th on the grid, so there's lots of movement in these opening laps. Ben Short in qualifying was a couple of seconds faster than anybody else, but he's dropping back on this opening lap of the Donington Park Grand Prix circuit. And then the rest of the field flow through. There's Jordan Johnson in 1, last year's champion, way back in the pack, which he can't really afford to do because he missed a meeting earlier in the year, so he hasn't got as many other results to drop back on, which Oak Richardson has in that battle for second in the championship. There's Richardson in 17, trying to come around the outside of 220. Owen Mills is making his 5 Club Racing debut today. Yeah, off the drop scores have been taken into account. Johnson is 5 points ahead of Oak Richardson coming into this weekend's racing, but down towards the Melbourne hairpin they go for the first time. They're not going to get very many laps out of 15 minutes, in particular in these damp conditions, which will elongate the lap times, of course. They're turning their way out of the hairpin now, up towards Goddard's for the first time. Wipers on most of the cars, really, I think, more to displace the spray rather than anything that's falling from the sky at the moment. Up the inside there is number 230, Thomas Holland, trying to make a move on Oak Richardson there. The red car past the blue car. Is that going to happen as they get across the line? Tom Holland was a British GT class winner just 2 weeks ago, but in this competitive Mazda grid, he's 7th out there, isn't he, in that battle with Oak Richardson. He didn't get through either there, did he? So. No. But Owen Mills has gained a place, hasn't he? Up into 4th, the driver from Suffolk. So he's having a good debut in the championship. The 25-year-old, he's been racing other Mazda championships over the past few seasons, but enjoying himself here well up the grid in 4th place. Had a Scott Lawrence, who went really well in qualifying and in that opening lap. Scott Lawrence, I think, had maybe one top 10 finish this year, but much further up the order than what we've seen him previously. It's a really jumbled grid, really, isn't it, this 5 Club Racing finale? It certainly is, and Ben Short obviously only down there in 3rd position at the end of the first lap. The man that's won 14 times this season. Matt Pennefather Neal made up 8 places on the opening lap of the race. He was one of the drivers to gain quite a lot, but there was lots of ups and downs on our timing screen at the end of the first lap. But for the moment it's Michael Pearce leading, Shay Pearce 2nd, Ben Short in 3rd. They have got a gap back to Scott Lawrence in 4th position, but now Ben Short looks like he's trying to attack Shay, who's we've not seen much of this season. I think Michael's been competing in all of the events, but Shay not having taken part in all of them. Michael's been 4th 3 times, but yet to be on the podium. That could change today, but he's got his son trying to make a move. To the inside comes Shay Pearce, a 26-year-old from Oxfordshire. Then Ben Short, who has won championships in the past. He's won the championship provisionally this year too. Obviously can't afford to do anything stupid this weekend. So he's kept the first lap and a half sort of watching what's going on, but I'm sure he'd like to win the race. Yeah, it certainly would. And it looks like it's Owen Mills, isn't it? It's in 4th. That's sort of now latched himself onto those first 3. Big slide out of the corner for Shay Pearce in 2nd position. Does that give Ben Short the opportunity to attack? He's on the outside line for the hairpin at Goddard's, but already as they arrive at the corner, Ben Short, number 71, has made it through into 2nd place now, but he's sliding himself on the exit of the corner. That might mean that Shay Pearce has more momentum as they head along the Wheatcroft Straight, coming towards the end of lap 2. Oak Richardson's up to 5th, so he's gained 2 places on that lap, so he's coming through nicely. One of the drivers, other than Ben Short, only 2 other drivers have won this year. One of them was Oak Richardson. Matt Hallam won last time out at Silverstone. Ben Short has got 2nd, as you said, the previous corner, almost got the lead now as they go on to Hollywood. He's drawing up alongside Michael Pearce in 70, wheel to wheel down the Craner curves, and Michael Pearce doesn't fancy that, does he? And he might lose 2nd place with it bit too short, though. He had a big twitch. He was right on the edge of the limit of his Mazda MX5 there. So up to second has come Shea Pearce, ahead of his dad Michael. Then Owen Mills there in fourth place. But yeah, I think that was Michael Pearce not fancying being on that tighter line in these conditions down the Craner curves, Ian.
You mentioned Matt Hallam. He was in contention for sort of top 3 position in the championship, but he's one of the drivers that's not here this weekend. Andy Bailey lost 11 places on that last lap. He's dropped down to 17th position, so he was up there in the top 10, so that explains one of the places that Oak Richardson gained as well on that lap, and it looks like he is trying to bridge the gap to those first 4, isn't he? But it is Ben Short now, number 71, the champion, out in front, looking for his 15th victory of the season, also looking to get as high up the Autosport number of race wins during the season list as well. He's sort of certainly one of the winningest drivers in the country this year. He's got Shea Pearce behind him, and now you've got Owen Mills in the number 220 car trying to attack Michael Pearce for 3rd position. As Josh said, he's looking for his first podium finish, is Michael Pearce, but he's got his work cut out next. He's got Owen Mills and Oak Richardson as well closing in on them, so it's now 5 cars, I would say, Josh, for the lead.
That's right. Owen Mills was the driver who set the fastest lap in the on that previous lap. Look at the wide line everyone is taking at the Melbourne hairpin, trying to find some sort of grip. We've seen some big slides out of here earlier. This time it's Owen Mills who's all up the curb on the exit of the corner, but there is 71 short. There is 16 Shea Pearce, who has his arm out of the cockpit. So is there a problem here? Yeah, the safety car is being deployed. We'll try and find out what that is for in just a moment's time. And we've got a 10-second penalty going out to 97 Jack Lawrence for an out of position start. There's the reason for the safety car. 68 Stephen Robinson in the gravel trap. That looks like it's down at the old hairpin. Yeah,
it does. And where did Stephen start? He started on row 11 of the grid. 22nd he was at the end of the previous lap. Pennefather Neil, that time he's dropping down the order as well. He has not yet come through. So Matthew Pennefather Neil in the number 21 car he's just come past our commentary box window now. So he's come across the line in 18th position, lost 9 place on that lap. But it is the 68 car then for Stephen Robinson, the driver from Yarm up there in North Yorkshire. The snatch vehicle is on the scene to hopefully haul that out of harm's way relatively quickly and ensure that we get some more racing before the 15 minutes are done. We've just hit the halfway mark in this race, less than 7.5 minutes of the race left to go now. It looks like it should be done fairly quickly, and it might even be the case, if we're lucky, Josh, that we could get running again at the end of this lap.
I was wondering that would be good for sure. They're going to have to drag the car into a safe place and perhaps have to get the vehicle out the way, yes, which could be the bigger problem. We'll see what happens. Biggest grid of the year, though, I think, isn't it, for the 5-club race MX5 Cup, with 33 cars. Before this weekend, we've seen 41 different drivers take part in a 5-club racing race, so it's been a really good season. The grids have been up all year, and you see that one of our new drivers this weekend, Owen Mills, so we might see more of in future seasons. And
what's been good is there have been lots of different drivers taking the podium. Yes, Ben Short has taken nearly all of the wins, Oak and Richardson and Matt Hallam having one apiece, but I think we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different drivers in 2nd position or 3rd position during the course of the season, so it's been wide open for the podium places all throughout the year. Some drivers have come and gone, just done occasional races. The likes of George King has dropped into the championship occasionally, but not done a full season, whereas others have been supporting it season long, like Oak Richardson, Jordan Johnson, of course, last year's champion, the stalwart Ian Tomlinson, who's in 12th place, a bit further down than he normally is today. We don't have Scott Leach, I don't think, this weekend, do we?
No. Who
has been a regular for much of the year. And
right,
has been taking podiums as well as the year has gone on. But a great championship, of course. These Mark 5 MX1, Mark 1 MX5s even get the right way round. 1.6 litre Japanese rotors from the late 1980s, early 1990s. Regulations for this were written by Alan Robson many years ago, and he ran the 5-club category for several seasons, retiring from that role at the end of last year. Ben Hansey taking over the running of the championship this year, himself a former champion in 5-club. Safety car light still on, so it looks like we are going to get, unfortunately, at least one more lap behind the safety car in this race. They've just not been able to get that car out of the way in time. So we do have another lap to go. behind the safety car. So while that's happening, just tell you, Jordan Johnson, of course, last year's champion, he is at the moment in 8th position. He is 4 places behind his rival for 2nd place in the championship, Oak Richardson. He's a HGV mechanic from Gloucester, been racing for 6 years now, for the Champion of 5 club in 2023. And it's a car that was prepared and run by himself and his father, Adrian Johnson. He's certainly one of the front runners in this championship and has had several podiums this season, Josh.
And you mentioned Alan Robson a moment ago. This year, for the first time, the Alan Robson Trophy is going to be awarded at the end of the season. It looks like Michael Pearce might pick that up, which is a trophy for drivers who haven't had a podium before the season started. And it'd be even better for him if he can go out winning that with an overall podium, which is possible today.
Absolutely. Shay Pearce, just to talk about Shay then, from Banbury. He is 26 years of age. He's a classic Porsche race and rally mechanic. His father is Michael, who's been battling with Jim in this race. Only started racing 3 years ago, done quite a bit of karting in the past though. And the car that he's racing is a car that he built himself 4 years ago. So Shay has not done all the races this season, but has shown some pace when he has been out there. And Oak Richardson, just to mention him, the other main contender for 2nd place in the championship, the 17-year-old in car 17, the what is he, 29 now, from Preston Bizzett, the Garden Centre director, and he started racing 3 years ago. So still a relative newcomer, but has had quite a bit of success in this and other MX5 championships. He's done some drifting as well in other motorsport competition, looking to race in historics maybe next year as well. And another driver to have built his own car. That's quite often the way in the F5 Club MX5s. There are teams that will run cars like Ben Short's team, BS Motorsport, but equally many drivers have prepared and run their own cars, Josh.
This could be classed as a historic championship nowadays, couldn't it, with cars that are 30 plus years old. Stephen Robinson, by the way, is on the back of the queue, so after getting out of the gravel, that means all 33 cars are still running. We just needed to get that rescue vehicle behind the barriers. This might be 1, it might be 2 laps of a restart, I think, with 2.5 minutes on the clock. The safety car will come in, and Ben Short controlling the pace then. The Pierces have gone with him at this stage, as the rain is possibly returning. Potentially not a good restart though from Owen Mills, the newcomer to the championship there in 4th. But Shay Pearce right with Ben Short. He's not let him get away on this restart. Just half a second between them at the line. There were 2 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock, so this could be the last lap of the race. They head down towards Redgate Corner, and Ben Short has controlled it then into Redgate without too much of a drama. Then the Pierces. Don't think either of them had a podium in the championship before. And then Owen Mills in 4th, but both those contenders for 2nd in the championship are not scoring as highly as they might have liked.
No. Oh, and Ben Short goes very wide, gets a wheel on the curb. I thought he was going to go off, but he managed to collect that up somehow. So Short, Shay Pearce, Michael Pearce, and now it's Oak Richardson, his turn to have a moment down at the old hairpin. And it looks like Jordan Johnson's got ahead of Thomas Holland since the restart, so he's up to 7th place now. He's narrowed the gap to Oak Richardson. And they are turning their way up towards McLean's, and then they'll head off up to Coppice. But it's now, you've almost got the 2 contenders for 2nd in the championship together. Just in between them there is that number 64 car of Scott Lawrence then, as they head up towards Coppice on lap number 6.
Scott Lawrence, another driver, set for his best result of the season. But there's a whole gaggle of cars. Sam Gormer in there as well. He's had a best result of 5th this season, but he's inside the top 10. Any of these cars could end up on pole for later on. Anything between 6 and 10 will be drawn out of the bag for pole position. So Oak Richardson has held on to 5th, despite that huge slide he had into the old hairpin. But he's only got that 1 car, as Ian mentioned, between himself and his championship rival Jordan Johnson. It might not even be that by the end, because Johnson has been quick on this restart lap, although Tom Holland perhaps fighting back behind.
Down through the Melbourne hairpin they go then. Ben Short has reeled out a bit of a gap, hasn't he, on this lap. There were 19 seconds to go. It's touch and go whether we'll get the checkered flag this time or whether we will get one more lap out of it. Ben Short again going deep into the hairpin. More grip out there in these conditions, and he comes up to the line. And do we get the checkered flag this time, or do we go on? Yes, we do get the checkered flag. The checkered flag does wave, so it's Ben Short, his 15th victory of the season. It's Shea Pearce in second place, Michael Pearce third, Owen Mills fourth, Oak Richardson fifth, Jordan Johnson sixth in the end. So only the one place between them then. Thomas Holland, Scott Lawrence, Samuel Gorman and Jake Micklewright. Josh rounding out the top 10.
Yes, so Scott Lawrence dropped back, didn't he, on that last lap? But a good result, best result we think for him, as well as the Pearces, father and son. So congratulations to both of them. But Ben Short finished where we might have expected for his 15th victory of the season and set the fastest lap on that last lap. Not as quick as qualified at 9 o'clock this morning, interestingly. So conditions, if anything, have not improved since we went qualifying this morning. But it looks like everybody has got their car home. Yeah, all 33 starters, even with that mid-race safety car. We've got Scott Lawrence home too. Let's see if we can take a look at the results.
Yep, Ben Short it was that took the win at the end of a 6-lap race that was interrupted by the safety car there in number 71. He beat number 16 Shea Pearce by 1.689 seconds. Third then was number 70, that was Michael Pearce, Shea's father. Fourth, number 220, Owen Mills. Fifth was number 17, Oak Richardson. Sixth was number 1, Jordan Johnson. So second place still very much up for grabs between those two in the championship. Seventh was number 230, the British GT racer, Thomas Holland. Eighth, number 64, Scott Lawrence. Ninth was 128, Samuel Gorman. Rounding out the top 10 was number 32, Jake Micklewright. Then Nico Favo, David Williams, Ian Tomlinson and 750 Motor Club's very own James Winstanley in 14th position. Further back it was Andy Bailey of Mint Alloys in 15th, Matthew Short 16th, Matthew Pennefather 17th, Mary Barnard, Martin Vernon and Sam Moody rounding out the top 20. With the rest of the drivers you can see listed on your screen down to the 27th position. And then on our final page of results you'll see that I think everyone did make it to the end in the final conclusion, including Stephen Robinson, who was in the gravel trap for a while. So that brings to an end the first race of the day. We'll have one more race to come before the lunch break. That's going to be for the Radical Bike Sports Championship. We'll have that coming up in just a few moments' time. We'll hear from Matt Suckling before then, though, down in the pit lane with our top 3 drivers. So we've got the bike sports race to come. Then after lunch we've got the Takiwa Road Sports Series, then the 116 Sprint and 120 Coupe Cup, Nankang Tyre Sports 1000, Zamp Helmets Formula V and F1000 as well. Then we go back to 5 Club for their second and final race of the day, then bike sports and then the 116s and 120s. They'll also have their final races of the day and of the season as far as the sprints for the 116s are concerned before the end of the day. So lots of racing still to come here at Donington Park today. And a reminder, if you've not already found it, then you can find the digital programme on the 750 Motor Club website, which is 750mc.co.uk, 750mc.co.uk. That's where you can find the digital programme. You'll also find links to the live timing, and you'll find links to the Alpha live stream of this race meeting as well. So if you're here at the circuit and you want to have a look at that as well, you can have a look at the live stream, all available via the 750 Motor Club website. So we've got lots more racing to come, lots more championships to be decided, and very shortly we'll head down to the pit lane to hear hopefully from our top 3 drivers and 2 members of the same family as well, which will be interesting, alongside Ben Short, who took his 15th race victory there. Didn't look as if he was going to do that all the way through the race, but he was nevertheless emerged with a 1.7 second victory. So let's head down to the pit lane now, and we'll say a very good afternoon for the first time to Matt Suckling.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, down here with our race winner from that MX5 race, Ben Short, for what's going to be the 15th time this year, I think, a winner?
Yeah, quite possibly, I'm not sure, yeah. But yeah, that was an interesting race, wasn't it? The quali line doesn't work when other people are on the track. So yeah, first couple of laps didn't really go to plan. But it's good to see Scott Lawrence, despite all of his whinging, BS Motorsport runner. He was at the front at the start, and these two showed that they were quick in quali as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a race there, and then safety car slowed it down for a bit, and then it was a little sprint to the end.
Was that a hindrance for you with the safety car?
Not good. Not good. My own fault. I thought, right, I'll try and be sneaky here, and I'll go really deep into the first hairpin and try and get a nice run out, and get a bit of a gap before we get to the start-finish line. But to do that, you need to actually be talented on the throttle, which didn't pan out for me. So we ended up all crossed up with everyone just sat behind waiting for me to get out of the way, pretty much. So yeah, it was less than ideal, but it was a really good fun race. First time we've raced these in the rain for a little while, I think. So, and these Massimo tyres did well, and fair play to all the other drivers. You know, it was pretty tricky out there, and bar someone having a little trip into the gravel, everyone's come home safe, and the cars look straight as they're going down the pit lane. So that's fantastic.
Good stuff. And one more race to go for the year, Ben.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, one more, and then we get a bit of time off. Although we might do the Burkett.
I'm sure you will, Ben. Well done. Congratulations on the victory. Bring Shower in, who finished in second place. Well done. Congratulations. Is that your first podium of the year?
That is my first podium of the year. It's my second event of the year as well. I did Croft at the start of the year, and then this is my second one. So don't get out too often, but it's nice to be up here. This is my old man. He's finished in third, so yeah, it's his first podium as well. So it's brilliant to be on the podium with him. Yeah,
bookending the season, aren't you, with the first one and then the last one this year? So tricky conditions, as Ben said. How did you find those?
Yeah, tricky conditions. Brilliant fun though. Absolutely cracking fun. Yeah, turn one was interesting. Managed to just get ahead and followed Dad down the Craner curves and held it from there. Ben came past, tried to hold him off, but there's no stopping him, is there?
Good stuff. And Michael will bring you in as well, who finished there in third place. What's it like racing with your son?
We've only done it a few times, I think. So yeah, it's always interesting, and you never want to have contact with your son either. So it's never going to be good over the dinner later if we do that. But no, it's a cracking day out so far. So another race to go. See how we get on later.
It's a good grid, though, isn't it? Lots of people out there to fight with, and some good battles to be had as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty good all season. I think this is possibly one of the largest grids we've had all season, and it's great to see a few guest people coming in for the last round as well. So yeah, and I think Owen Mills was right behind me at one point. I kept looking in my mirror, and he's guesting, and I know he's a pretty tricky guy, so luckily he backed off a bit, I think, or made a mistake or something. But yeah, no, it was so much fun, really fun.
You've now just got to try and overhaul Ben in the final race of the year.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm not sure how that will get on with that, but we've got a reverse grid now, I think, as well. So depending on what gets pulled out, I'll find myself a bit further back in the pack. I could find myself back in 9th or 8th or something like that. So we'll see how that goes.
Should be fun. Good luck. Thanks, guys. There you go then. That's our first race of the day done here at Donington Park. We've got more to look forward to very shortly, because we're going to head next to the Radical Bike Sports Championship.